East of Eden have a brand new song. It's been getting a lot of attention. We're going to be talking about that as well as something that's gone under the radar as well. We're also going to give a little bit of time to Asterism's recent collaboration with an Indian prog metal band by the name of Pineapple Express. That's a difficult one to Google. So we're going to be looking at a couple of things today. But yeah, starting with this big East of Eden song, which was called Shooting Star, right?
Shooting Star.
I
Yeah,
keep
that's
on
the
I
one.
keep on wanting to say Starlight, which I know will make Benedict very happy as he wants to talk about baby metal in every single video at some point.
Just wanted to
Um,
say, isn't the group called like East? Nee, what did Neon say? Ears to Eden?
Ears
yeah,
to Eden. Yeah.
basically Neon has done every combination
Yeah, yeah, probably.
possible of Ears to the East and East of Eden since we started doing this. So that's why I've changed my screen name to Ears to Eden's East Exit. So
Ah.
um
Love it.
So yeah, I think that this is obviously their first song since bringing Mina in on the bass
Mm.
and losing the amazing Wakazaimon. But Mina obviously has been doing nothing but making a huge reputation for herself with collaboration works with likes of Mike Shinoda and all these kinds of things and getting her name out there, doing a lot of online stuff. Um, the ex-girlfriend bassist, she's there now, and the band are excited to give us their new song. What did we think, guys?
You know what? I loved it, but at the same time, it's also hard to get excited. It's a little bit like I love it so much, but the
There's
band
medication
had,
for
yeah, I know. Wow.
that.
But obviously the band's chopped and changed and shifted so many freaking times since they first like were announced and stuff like that. I'm kind of like I'm hoping this is it now. I'm like, right, this is good. This is great. Just no more people leaving, swapping, and changing or anything
Wait,
like that.
what
Just
what
keep.
changes did they have before? Because I remember them having changed before. I mean, clearly I
Well, I
didn't.
was actually I was happy that Neon said that because I was wondering. I'm not super familiar with the group. I just heard, I think, one or two songs quite a while ago, and I was like, didn't that sound completely different what I last time listened to? Or
Yeah,
like not
yeah.
completely different, but a totally different direction. And this to me, it felt a bit like, I don't know, a combination of Unlucky Morpheus and
Mm.
Trident with Ado as the singer.
Holy shit.
It's kind of the vibes I got, but the last time I listened to it, it was much more just I think Evolve was the song that I heard before.
Yeah.
Just much more straight orchestral metal
Mm.
direction. Is that a right
Well,
perception?
that was the first
Yeah.
song that we heard because that came up in one of our videos before we had the
Yeah.
straight orchestra. But then they had other songs as well, which went into very different directions. They've played with a lot of sounds, and to be honest, I think even before the whole Wakazaimon thing, the feeling I was getting is like I love how they're trying all these different things, but at some point they've kind of got to settle down and actually
Settle
like
down.
demonstrate what their sound's gonna be. It's like
Mm.
demonstrate what what is your selling point? What is it you want to do? And obviously having a violin player is a big part of that as well.
Mm.
But
I really think the violin elevates the song a lot.
Yes.
massively.
Especially like the chorus part, which I think without the violin would just more sound like a typical poppy chorus. But with that violin, I think it's
Mm.
just something else.
Yes, it definitely has a bit of darker undertones to it. It kind of reminds me of the very first song they released, which was kind of like similar in that vein a little bit, with the striking violin,
Was
which I
this
which
Evolve, right?
I think it probably was Evolve, right?
It was one that you put it as we had that video where we talked about what our walk-in music would be, and you had
Ah,
yeah that was
Yes,
yours.
yes,
I've done a
yes,
few
yes.
I've done a few of Easter reading songs now, so I'm double checking. But the first song that they did, or they released, again, I'm terrible with names. I do apologize. Hold on, I will find it in a
I think it
second.
was Evolve. Pretty sure it was Evolve.
Thinking the same.
It-
Yeah, you're right. It was Evolve. I've done. Sorry, I get confused because I've done one, two, three, four, five. I've done six of their songs, so I keep losing track.
well, clearly they've left a big impression on you.
Um, yeah, I mean, I like the thing is, like I said,
No, I'm playing with
it
you.
goes back to being kind of hard to be invested because that first song really struck a
Yeah,
chord with me. I heard that and I was like, this is brilliant. And like Benedict said, the next song came out and I was like, okay. I was like, this is not continuation or the next step that I thought they were going to take. They went in a sort of a completely different direction. I was like, okay, I'm still interested. And like what Howard said, then I was kind of like, oh, maybe they're just like dropping a few different things, experimenting and stuff like that before they go into their, their rhythm, their core sound. And then the next song came out, and that was like a bit different from the other two, and I was kind of like, what's going on here a
I
little bit? And
mean,
that,
we love variation. It's
mm,
just like you want to get an idea for what is this band. You want to try and find some sort of core to it.
yeah, and then obviously, like you said, members leaving and stuff like that. I don't know how many members are left. I think there was two or three that have changed.
I just had a little look on a website, and it suggests that Wakazaimon's the only person who's ever left East of Eden. Now, I don't know, that must be wrong then, but that's what I just read
I
off the
don't know
web.
if it was wrong. I was under the impression there was more than one that's left, but I could be wrong for all I know.
Was it that they added people? Or...
They could have added, yeah, they could have added some. I don't know. I know that the band was in a bit of flux, so you know what it's like being at sometimes when you're reacting to 50 million bands, like you're like people tell you stuff and you're like, oh, okay, and then you
I'm
do
just
something else.
I'm just
No,
doing the
I know
research at the
everything.
moment.
You know everything.
I'm
I was gonna say something then. I was like, I know what you don't know.
I also know what you want to say.
uh,
You're the
I'm
same.
just while you guys are talking, I'm just checking through like information. Oh wait, okay. Um,
Okay, while he's doing that, I'll
Yeah.
quickly carry on talking.
yeah, I'm
So
researching.
this new song that came out kind of reminded me of Evolve. It reminded me of like the first song they released, that tone that I was really excited for. Sort of like thrashy metal, but like Benedict said, has that Unlucky Morpheus kind of like vibe to it as well. And I really enjoyed that. So I'm glad to see that make a return. Um, but again, I'm like, should I get excited? Because again, I don't want the next song to drop and it be in a completely different genre. Because I'll just be at that point, I'll just be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But like
Yeah,
imagine they are just another group that just
Well, this
does
is the
that every
thing.
time and every time brings something new. Wouldn't that be great as well?
I mean, it'd be kind of fun, but I
It would be
think in a way
fun.
you kind of want to know at least. I mean, I guess if
Yeah,
that
I
became
get
their whole
the
thing, it'd be
point.
great. But in a way, you kind of want to know. Oh, I'm in the mood for some East of Eden.
Mm,
Um, I would actually say that one thing I wanted to point out here because I thought that so I did just check and yeah, it does seem the only change they've ever had was Wakazaiman out, Mina in. Um, but according to a couple of web pages I just looked at. In regards to this song though, I felt like almost because we were talking recently about how Nemophila really tried to set their image by when they became a four-piece band. And there was something about this music video, right down to the fact that it was directed in a way that it like really highlighted each member individually. And then you listen to the mix of the song, and the bass is not overly complicated, but you can really hear like they've really nicely EQ'd in all the nice little runs and little cool bits that Mina does. So they're very clearly audible, and there's little space for when the bass does something cool, the rest of the instruments give it a little bit of space. And there's just something about the way the video is directed and the songs mixed where I might be reading into it, but I just feel like they're kind of going, we have our lineup now. Okay, we're gonna try this. Now, of course, it could be one of those things like with Silent Siren where they were like talking about how we're a family, and the minute they started talking about family, their drummer left. And it's yeah, it could be one of those things where they're tempting fate, so to speak. But I just got this vibe that there was kind of like they're trying to cement themselves with this song, and maybe going back to that sound that they originally had in Evolve. It's not exactly the same, but it has
no.
certain. Yeah, it feels like it would fit nicely alongside Evolve. Going to a similar place to that is probably almost like returning to something which they can more cement as a sound. Um, and I think of all of their songs, there is more of a leaning towards that, semi-orchestral, anthemic rock kind of thing. Yeah, which I think, those airs of the anthemic Fuki vibe going on, a little bit the Unlucky Morpheus violins quality as well, but something a little bit more, well, a little bit less chaotic about them, a little bit
Yeah.
more of an
I think
anthemic.
this song was quite had a lot of fun elements as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed this a lot more than Evolve just because of that aspect, that it was a lot more fun and not just in that. I mean, I love that as well, but not just that
Well,
darker,
Evolve was
epic
yeah.
atmosphere. It also has that fun, trident vibey about it.
Well, Evolve was like their first song as well. Don't forget that was
Yeah,
their like statement. This is what we
yeah,
can
yeah.
do.
I just
I
wanted
think,
to say I would be quite happy if this would be
oh yeah, same,
their
same.
sound. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
felt this was written in a way where it felt like a single. Like a lot of the chord movements and everything were quite steady, and it was much more about giving space for the big chorus. So it has a big catchy chorus, which is given a lot of space to breathe, and then the extra sounds like the violin and everything. That it feels more like they're trying to bring you in with all the sort of fun tones in the big chorus rather than trying to write an excessively complicated or showy song.
yeah,
yeah. I mean, for me personally, I just want East of Eden to make that next step. I feel like since the first song, they just stagnated a little bit. I think the hype that they had when they first released that song was massive, and I think everybody saw the potential. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. They've got the potential here. Now, I don't know whether or not it's just them playing around or something, but I'd like to see something a little bit concrete from them. Kind of go back to what Howard said, know where you stand with them. Are they going to release something like this? Is it just going to be different songs all the time? I want to see
yeah.
something from them. I want to be invested because the potential is there, the talent is there. I just feel like they need something more concrete now to take that next step.
It's weird because in a way, I don't. Of all things, as someone who loves bands who do variation, I don't like complaining about your band, and I'm not really complaining, but it's like it is. I guess probably the best way of putting it is that every time I hear an East of Eden song, I really enjoy it. I haven't
But
heard an East of Eden song that I haven't liked yet,
Yeah.
and yet I
this
don't.
apparently is part
And
of
yet,
an album, by the way.
okay, so just before we get into that,
Sorry.
the
Yeah,
point I was trying to make there was that yeah, so I've really enjoyed every East of Eden song I've heard, but I don't regularly listen to East of Eden. And what's the reason for that? I think that's because, when I'm like in a mood for a certain thing, you think about, oh, I'm in the mood for this kind of music, and then you immediately start thinking of certain bands.
Yeah.
What mood are you thinking of when you're thinking of East of Eden? It's kind of
yeah.
hard to think of. So for me, this song kind of centered more like, yeah, okay, we kind of going for this vibe. And yeah, I just think it's really good with that. Sorry, you were saying about an album.
Yeah, just because Neon was saying we haven't heard a release, but it says here release information that this new song Shooting Star is part of the first Eden Seeds of Hope will come
Hmm.
out on March 12th, 25.
Yeah.
That's good then.
Is it a full length album though? I think it actually is a full length album, this one.
It says album.
Yeah. My understanding was it's a full length album. This is
So yeah,
I
so
would assume, yes.
going back to Howard said, hopefully this is their statement of this is the vibe we're going for. Because as much like I said, I'd be cripplingly disappointed if I go into this album and I hear this song and then the other songs are completely different. Like, I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't mind so long as there's like a basic theme to the album. It's like you
yeah.
gotta have like a bit of that. Like 50% of the album is like basically them around a certain theme, and then like 50% of the album is craziness. That's kind of a perfect balance.
I just think like I said, they need to scratch that itch of like, what am I in the mood for? I'm in the mood for East of Eden, and it needs to be that album needs to be satisfy that itch. I think for
Yeah.
them.
I think having a full length album, because the first release they had was a mini album, if I'm correct. Yeah, apologies if I'm wrong here. But I believe they had a mini album before, and so this is like their first full length album, I believe.
I
Again,
was
correct
about
me
to
if I'm
say,
wrong.
can the people tell that we don't do our research before talking about these things?
Well, I mean, the
Obviously, you're
funny
talking
thing,
about Forbidden Fruit, the 5-song EP.
yeah, going
First piece,
into
second
this,
piece, what?
like I say, I'm not actually someone who's really sat down and listened to this band very much, which is why this song caught me. And this is kind of like, as I say, I haven't really gone through their stuff as much as a lot of other people. I've probably listened to all of their songs once, and then a couple of them maybe a couple of times. So this is a really interesting one for me, definitely. But I must actually draw attention to one of the things that I thought was quite fun. I did say about them having a music video which was kind of highlighting all the members, but the music video really made me giggle, partly because it was a lot of fun, but also partly because it depicted quite possibly the most illogical heist in all history. So all of that planning, all that preparation, and then what do they actually do? They walk into the front door, make a damn sight load of noise in the lobby, and then walk up to a button, press it, and take what they want. So and there was no one there. There's no security, nothing. It's like you walked into an unsecure building, made a lot of noise, and took something. You played a fucking
So
gig
it
in the
actually
lobby.
worked.
Well, yeah, it's like all of that preparation was for nothing. all of that preparation was meaningless. Do you know
Yeah,
what? They
kind
probably did
of.
all that preparation, all that hacking, and then a sign just came up going, "Look, this is really easy. Just go in
Yeah,
there and take
it's like
it."
the Rick and Morty episode where he's getting the whole crew just to get into that convention.
Yeah, I love that
And over
episode.
my head.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say Howard's like, I got you, Benedict. Don't I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you got me.
So,
You son of a bitch.
You son
I'm
of a
in.
bitch. I'm in.
so let's bring up the other one as well, then, which is like Asterism did this song with Pineapple Express, and I thought it was really rather quite awesome, to be honest.
Just before we get into that, one thing I really wanted to break. Say something about violin. Man, I think violin should be in so much more music.
Yeah.
Really feel like violin, especially in metal music. It just fits the sound, in my opinion, really well. And also, I'm listening to Generico right now. Awesome violin music. Check it out. Anyway, Asterism now.
So many bands use strings. So many metal bands use strings in the background of their music anyway. I think it's kind of
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
like
yeah.
a real violinist that really adds
Oh.
another layer, not just
Totally agreed.
synth.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I agree. Every band could have a violinist. I'd be happy.
But
Yeah.
also, there are some other cool instruments in some other songs.
Like the
Exactly.
triangle.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd never heard of this band called Pineapple Express before, and I was totally expecting like
Same,
Seth Rogen to turn up, and then
same.
it turns out to I've never seen that movie actually. I've never even seen a movie. But
To be fair,
yeah, so
it's a great movie.
well
The
this was a
stellar
great
movie.
song. This was a great song.
Yeah.
I think that in a way I was equally impressed both by what I believe is the Indian metal band Pineapple Express and just the way they work with Asterism. It was great. Asterism really, I mean, I think Hauke's vocals were brilliant in the chorus, but the way that she played off against the guy had like a really good gritty voice. He didn't go into like screaming or anything, to be honest. He just sort of like had a lot of grit and punch and balanced perfectly with Hauke's vocals. The song twisted and turned through brilliant things. Like freaking keyboard solos in there was awesome.
I
The
love those, man.
instrumentation, the bass didn't stop either. That was great. The bit where suddenly out of nowhere you get the flute come in. This song had
Even two
absolutely
different
everything.
types of flute.
Mm.
He has like a
Really?
little one and one big
He
one.
has a little one and a
Yeah.
big one
Oh, there you go.
harmonizing over the little flute. Yeah.
I had not noticed that, but I just thought it was layered up in recording. There you go. But
That's
I
cool.
got to be honest. I think
Well, yeah.
the whole song just felt like a really awesome collaboration that worked beautifully together. Everything fit in its place. You really got the vibe that both bands were expressing themselves.
But
And
let me ask you, Howard, because you haven't heard anything from Pineapple Express themselves
no,
before, right?
no.
Wouldn't you say the song kind of felt just like an Asterism song with some other dude's vocals?
No, I didn't
No.
feel like that
No,
to me. No,
but I
the
feel it really had a lot of Asterism vibe about it.
it did,
Yeah, I
but
totally could see this is like Asterism. I didn't really know which aspect would come from the other group, but I could
I mean,
definitely tell Asterism.
the problem is when it comes to these
I
kind of
feel like I'm going to be
collaborations
the
is
one. I feel
when
like I'm going to be the
when
odd one out here. Go on.
we'll build up to we'll put enough praise on that when you eventually come to talk, it just makes you seem like a bad guy. But the thing is that like when you don't know the other band, it is very difficult to then work out what part
Yeah,
of the
sure.
collaboration is them.
Obviously.
But so the question is, did this sound like an Asterism song? Yes, it sounded like an Asterism song enough that I definitely felt Asterism were on it. Did it sound like the sort of song they could have done on their own? No.
Yeah,
I think
probably
the
not.
interplay between the vocals, the extra instruments as well,
But I feel
and
like
like I say, the
even
keyboard
the
stuff was
mixing
awesome.
about it, about the guitars and everything, it kind of felt Asterism to me, that more
Yeah.
rawness to it. I'm not sure, maybe Pineapple Express has that as well.
Well,
Have
again,
you
that's the
heard
thing is
Pineapple
that
Express
without
before,
comparison,
Neon?
we don't know.
No, I haven't. This was my first time as well.
Okay,
Well,
Listen.
tell
so
us what you
neither of
thought.
us
Tell us
know.
what you thought, Neon. It sounds like you had a wonderful time.
um, I thought the song was okay. It's for me. Obviously, I quite enjoyed the Pineapple Express thing. I think the keyboard solo and stuff was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the flutes and stuff like that. To me, this showcased more of Pineapple Express than it did for Asterism, and I came into this song wanting more Asterism, and I kind of came away feeling really underwhelmed by Asterism's kind of part in this. The other thing as well is I don't think like the song really had like a hook. Probably the closest hook we had was Halkar's vocals. I thought was probably the biggest hookiest part of like the song, and I just thought it just felt like this other band and Asterism came in and played a 7 out of 10 performance. You know, it was good, but it wasn't as good as I know Asterism can be.
I mean, to
Yeah,
be honest, like
okay.
the bass work, like Asterism bass work was in there,
Oh yeah,
amazing bass
yeah.
work from them.
There was
And
lots of good things. I just never felt it got past. Like I said, I don't. For me, it just never got past that 7 out of 10.
but what is it that you want from Asterism? I mean, don't get me wrong, Asterism have songs where they do other
Hmm.
things, but what is it you wanted from Asterism that wasn't here? Because I felt like Asterism was still Asterisming to a very high extent.
I
Asterisming.
maybe
It's a verb.
asterism. Um, maybe to more extent, I would have liked to see like more of Hauka. I love that she can go a bit crazy. I love her. Maybe I'm the odd one out here, but I love her long, stretched out technical freaking solos, and I just feel like that
Uh,
wasn't here too much. And I understand a little bit because you got to play off the other band. She was playing off what they were playing and kind of keeping in group, but she just didn't see her usual
I think
But
that's kind
like
of the point, though, is
crazy.
that when you've
It
got a
is.
collaboration like this, I mean, she's going
yeah,
to be more on vocals than doing guitar solos. Because when the other band's got more members and more instrumentalists, surely Hauke's job is going to be more about singing.
Well, that's
And
what
that
I
was made
mean.
up for by the bass work
Yeah,
coming
I
from
mean
Asterisk.
and
that's what
she
I
also did
mean.
play that she harmonized with the keyboard
Yeah.
Yeah,
solo.
I mean it was
Yeah.
good, but it's we both know. Can you look me straight in the eye and say that's anywhere near as good as Hellcat can be?
No, probably
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
But I
but
would
what, but
say
what do you mean by that? I mean, do you mean as much as she can show off her talents? Well, that to me isn't the judgment of a good song.
No,
Is this
no.
let me
like
throw in my
this
point
is
here.
this her is this her no, but I mean you asked a question, I'm answering the question because like is this her doing the best she can on the song? I think that she provided brilliant vocals. I mean, yeah, I think she did this was one of her best performances, but in more of a just giving a really good hook kind of way and
Yeah.
playing as part of a band kind of way.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's nothing bad about the performance. It does what it needs to do, and it stays in line with the song, and it helps the song flow, and it helps the other band look good as well. And the backwards and forwards between the two bands is nice. It's just I don't know. Like I said, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me. People in the comments, throw in your 2 cents here. But when I go to watch Asterism, or when I put an Asterism on, I go for the craziness. And you know what you said about Hardcast showing off, and like would that make a good song? But I love that. I love that she shows off. I love her cocky
That's why a
attitude.
lot
Now,
of people love Asterism.
I love
mm,
that they go a bit wild, and they do have that sense of cockiness about them that they're that technically that
but this,
good.
this song was wild. It was
Yeah.
like everyone was wild. It's just Halka was the rock. She was the center. She was providing that hook.
I would
That's
agree with Neon that Haruka can definitely go crazier and more insane and cooler, probably, however you want to say it. But also, don't you feel like the last releases since Asterism included vocals already went a bit in that kind of directions? That they had less of that ultra
Yeah.
long Haruka just shredding off parts in it.
But that I think that makes
So
sense for the direction that they're
yeah,
heading, though. You want
I
more
didn't really
vocals.
expect that. I would
Yeah.
love it as well, but I didn't really expect it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't really do that anymore, I think.
Not as much.
Not
they
when they
do
have like
songs
vocal
now.
songs. What? Sorry?
Yeah.
They do songs now.
Instrumental music are songs too.
I know. Maybe I am just stuck in the past a little bit there. I think of the old Asterism a little bit. Maybe the little bit nostalgia glasses, tinted rose glasses, a little bit. That I look at that and I'm like, I kind of crave that a little bit more.
I mean, I can see the point totally, but I think I also like the new direction. To me, that felt a little bit like a more
It's
modernized
not
Asterism.
Asterism. It's me. Or maybe
That's
it
what
is Asterism.
Asterism
I don't know.
said. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
like I
Well,
said, I love the band and I love what they're doing. I love Halkar's vocals as well. Um, I'm not. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on the direction they're sort of going in. But again, that's me being grumpy, grouchy person that doesn't like anything for once.
future is now, old man.
The future
I
is
also
now.
think I mean, I also like their newer stuff, but I think pre-vocals was the best Asterism.
I
Oh
agree.
God. Oh God.
Hot take.
Here comes all the
Ooh.
purists.
No, I think
Oh no,
everyone
the
will agree.
purists are gonna come marching with all of their
The
guitar
purists will
pedal
agree with me.
manuals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
They're produced.
you put us in it now because now we're gonna get barrage of comments going. No, no, we don't
Like and
agree with
subscribe right
you.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Later you don't
honestly
want to anymore.
I think that it's better to be able to produce something rounded, and you can specialize in certain things, but I just think that the original like Asterism stuff was really cool and it's very impressive, but it was impressive because they were very young and it was like, wow, look how good these young musicians are at playing music. But eventually they had to evolve into doing stuff that was more
Oh
like
yeah.
actually
Yeah, I
songs.
agree.
And for me, that's kind of what's so cool about them is that now they are, they had that really cool phase, but then and when you say they've grown out of it, there's a lot of people who'd be like, "Oh, how can you grow out of being an amazing guitarist?" It's like, no, you just sort of like you grow into the point where you use that skill within songs rather than that being
Yeah.
the core of what you do. So for me, I feel like Asterism showed all of what makes Asterism great. It's just it was part of a bigger tapestry of things happening in this song, which worked really well together. So
I mean, is it an
yeah,
official Asterism song because the way they
it's on
put
their
it here?
page.
It's on their page, so
Yeah,
it's
but like it's
more.
neither a feature nor an X. It's just Asterism, comma, Pineapple
Yeah,
Express.
that it's not codified that you have to write it a certain way. There's
No,
not
but
there's not
it's
like a
just interesting
law.
to me. They
Yeah,
Why didn't they do it normally?
I
If I
think probably they didn't want to define it, maybe.
yeah, I would personally say this is probably it's definitely not a feature song. It's definitely a X song. I
Oh yeah,
think
Yeah.
definitely a collab. Yeah.
definitely a collab more than a featurette.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think also that, that part where you have that it's a pretty long flute solo, to be honest. So that's usually probably a part.
that flute is taking up Howcar solo
Yeah,
time.
exactly. That's exactly the thing. But I like the flute as well.
Um,
Fucking heathens.
Why? I love the flute.
So it's taking
ooh,
up
kinky.
it's
Oh
taking
my.
up guitar solo time. It builds up so when the guitar solo comes in, it feels much
No,
more
it's
impactful
just
because it's
in a
built
usual
up
Asterism
to
song, that would be
Benedict,
the part where
Oh, in
Haruka
a
is
usual
shredding.
Asterism song,
Be-
Oh,
back
shut
when
up,
I
Howard.
was young, when
Benedict is
I
the
was new.
Benedict is a personification of this one time at band camp.
Wait a second, there's a flute reference in there as well. I'm not going into that. I'm not going.
Yes, I get it, Neon.
I'm more surprised that Howard got that one.
Unfortunately, I grew up at the time that awful movie was popular.
Mm.
Oh dear me. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think the one thing that I wouldn't agree with is I don't think this anyone came out of this looking like they had to bend the knee to be in this
Yeah.
collaboration. I think it was a collaboration that genuinely felt like a fun, expressive collaboration where everyone got to show off their skills. So
Yeah,
I
like I said, I'm probably coming away from this one looking like a negative Nelly, but at the end of the day, the heart wants what the heart wants, and the heart wants more Halka shredding. So that's just how it is.
the heart
I
wants
think it's
20-minute
fair.
guitar solos.
Yeah,
All right, so which
I
I was
fucking
going to say
paid to see that.
which of these two songs did you guys prefer? We got a choice between East of Eden with Shooting Star, and we have got Asterism and Pineapple Express with some song name that I couldn't remember. It was pretty generic. Metal something.
Metal
Metal
Gandhara.
Gandhara. Okay. Which one did you prefer? Let's go around the table. All right. First off, Neon. I can't imagine
What
what
could it
you're going to
be?
answer to this. Which,
Enlighten us.
For me, it was Shooting Star.
all right.
This was East of Eden, in the direction I hope they stick with. So yeah, I'm kind of quietly hoping.
For me, I enjoyed Shooting Star. I thought it was a great song. I thought it was really good, but for me, it more felt like them just trying to sort of set the groundwork. Therefore, I was
Oh
much more
shit.
taken by the individuality, uniqueness, and creative energy of Metal Gandhara, which of course now means that Mild
Oh,
Mannered Benedict
Benedict's got the
has
deciding vote.
to.
I like both the same. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
fuck off.
Oh, fuck off.
You've learned too much from Neon. You've learned too much from
Yes.
appeasing people like Neon.
Well, so
Go on.
unfortunately, as much as I love Asterism, I have to give this one to East of Eden.
Sorry, your first answer applies. You like both. Right. Anyway.
No, I like the Asterism song, but like Neon, I feel, yeah, maybe I have to listen to some Pineapple Express to really get what they are bringing to the table. But just listening to this, it just feels like yeah, a good Asterism song, I would say, with some interesting elements. So I enjoyed the song, but East of Eden just very unexpected to me. I was thinking, yeah, it will be another type of this kind of Unlucky Morpheus style orchestral metal, but really all those fun elements they threw and really surprised me. And I like the sound overall. I would be very happy to listen
You're
to a whole
saying that
album.
you thought that Shooting Star was more fun and surprising than
Yeah,
Metal Gandhara.
surprising because of my expectations.
Okay, but
Yeah.
take away your expectations because we already know that they come with a walking frame.
You know he was
Yeah,
never going
You know
Howard's
he was
trying
never
to
gonna.
like shift my opinion.
Yeah, you
No,
know
no,
he
no.
was never
I
going to
want
take this
your
lying
honest
to
down.
say,
opinion
like-
without remove your bias and give me a genuine opinion. Which one do you think you will come back to and listen to again?
Also, East of Eden, because
Right,
yes,
right.
I like the vibe more of it. But I would say, to give you some slack, the Asterism song had more unique elements to it.
It did. Some might
That,
find
that,
that frightening.
that's like appeasing Howard without actually appeasing him.
Yes.
That's like throwing him a little bone at the end. Going,
Exactly.
yeah,
So he shuts up and gnaws a bit on the bone.
You said the quiet bit out loud there, and I'm not gnawing on your bone. Thank you very much.
After this video.
Oh, gonna ruin you two.
Oh, you're the one who will be getting the room with me, so I know how you
Exactly.
feel
Oh,
about
fuck.
that. Didn't think that one through, did he?
Oh, it's that Simpson episode now. I'm in danger.
Got yourself a bone after all.
I'm gonna walk into his apartment holding the bone here.
What makes you think I want the bone? That's the last thing I want, you absolute pervert.
Oh, he likes the meat. I get it now.
Do you ever feel like you're using a metaphor that no one else is understanding?
I don't even
Okay,
understand myself half the time. Don't worry about
So
it.
anyway, I'm really glad that we had two really interesting, exciting songs that actually I think we'd all be going back to listen to both of them again. I'm pretty sure. So I'm glad we have both of these. So especially considering that in Neon's opinion, there's only been one release so far this year. So it's amazing.
Best album of the year so far.
Yeah. So we've had like Nemophila had their debut as a four-piece album. We've had East of Eden, they got their new album coming out, which will be
Excited for that.
very, very soon.
And
actually,
yeah, end
March.
of next month.
Yeah,
February.
yeah. I hope
mid next month.
I hope they tease another song. I just want a general vibe about what I'm expecting going into this album, and I'm not too sure.
I knew the guy who was like, oh, they released
Well,
too many songs before the album.
yeah, well, this, yeah, exactly. But with East of Eden, there's such an unknown quantity. Even after listening to like all the rest of the songs, I still don't know what to expect. So I'm like,
wait for the album and let it
wait
wash
for
over you.
yeah,
Wash over you.
probably will, unless they release a music video because it's my fucking job to react to it. So
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of them. I think the Asterism one caught me more by surprise. I didn't see that. I didn't know it was coming out. Didn't see it coming. And then when it was released, someone was like, "Oh, I just finished recording a batch of 8 reactions, and then that came out, and I just went on Discord afterwards, like, oh, I'm gonna relax now." we're on Discord and someone DM'd me, Howard, have you seen this? And I looked at it as it came out like 12 minutes ago. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
So I went and did a reaction and I was I was knackered when I started recording. I was like,
It's like came out 12 minutes ago. Have you seen this?
yeah,
Probably not.
yeah, exactly. It was well, usually the time I turn around my reactions, it's usually like 15 minutes after the videos come out. My reactions come out anyway. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, like to be.
Professional Howard.
I know.
That's one word for rushing.
Yeah.
Nah. All right, good stuff. I think we've anything else you want to add to our songs we've heard, or are we going to wrap this one up?
Is there something released, announced for Asterism? Is that part of an upcoming release or something?
I don't actually know. I was just so
not that I'm
Hold on.
aware of.
All right.
apparently
we'll
they
see.
were actually on tour in India, which might be why and how this all happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually says underneath we shot in Bangalore, India. Okay, cool.
Oh, that just feels like we were there. Why not? Kind of situation.
Yeah, I get that vibe as well. They were there, but I mean, I'm sure they obviously planned it in advance, but it was one of those things where they probably put it together knowing that they were going to be
Will
there.
India become the new Japan for metal?
It's getting there. There's loads of good metal bands coming out of Japan at the minute. It's really taken off. I think
Out of Japan or out of India?
Out of India.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Bloodywood really. I hate pointing things down to one band and saying it's them that's done it, but I do think their
They
popularity.
opened the door.
Yeah, it does feel like them have been such a success that they are worldwide has made more eyes on the metal scene in India. Kind of like what Baby Metal did for the world when they kind of came out and set their eyes on people's eyes on Japan, and hopefully we'll get a flood of kind of bands from India that will hopefully go on to do bigger and better things as well.
I do hope it is more than just metal, in all fairness, because I mean, I think the greatest thing that Babe Metal did when they broke out is that they showed the not just Japan does metal. I think everyone knew Japan did metal, but they showed that Japan's got something to bring to the table, something interesting and different, which you've not heard before.
Yeah. But actually,
and,
that Asterism song made me
feel...
more excited to listen to Pineapple Express because of that flute and that keyboard solo and all that stuff.
That's what I mean. It's like listening to them. I'm like, well, I don't know their sound, but if there's anything like this, then they've probably got something to offer that we aren't hearing elsewhere. So that gets me pretty excited for that.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Indian metal music. Let's see what you got.
Wait. There was one more question that Benedict wanted to ask in this episode.
He's going red now. He's like, nope.
There was a question we were talking about in sound check.
Yeah. Benedict here wanted to know if Goku or whatever goes Super Saiyan, does the pubes also go Super Saiyan as well?
I didn't think you were actually gonna mention that.
We don't know the context of the conversation.
So yeah, there's no context to that. So
there was no context. No, we were just setting up, and he just said it.
Yeah, he just said it. So
I said hello, and then he just starts talking about like Goku poops.
Goku poops.
Fake news.
So let us know in the comments if somebody goes Super Saiyan, does the pubes also change color?
And which
Neon,
Super Saiyan stage will they go in?
Are you wearing?
I am. That's what makes it so great.
Yes.
So, Neon, can you give us a demonstration? Oh, he's staying with me anyway.
He needs to train more.
That should be where the video ends there. Neon, give us a demonstration. Cuts.
Well, maybe we should. Neon, are you ready to give us a demonstration? I'll take that as a no.
Okay, you ready? Keep your ears to the east, and here's your Super Saiyan.
It's got 30 seconds. You've got to hold that for 30 seconds. You've got
to hold it for 30 seconds.
Really delayed.
You need to scream.
Long. Keep screaming. Scream. Can't hear it. You just look constipated. Scream harder. No, you got 15 seconds.
Oh, I'm not holding that for 15 seconds. I'll
All right,
don't hold it that long.
Yeah, just go.
And remember to keep your ears to the east.